Welcome to this look at a new mod map to Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. Welcome to BJORNHOLM 2K20, or should I say welcome back. This is new to console. Console release was part of the changelog update that happened yesterday. This map is by Vectorman. It will use 149.32 megabytes, which is pretty impressive considering the size of the map and the detail on the map. This is coming home, isn't it? This was the map, for me personally, that started everything. When my daughter first bought the game, and I sat one afternoon and thought, I'm going to put it on and have a go, it was BJORNHOLM, FS19. A simpler time, and how we have grown since then. There were no mods. It was all fairly basic stuff. I remember walking down the hill from where I am now to field 29, which is on the map. There was a harvester sat there, and there was a kind of tutorial thing you did, not having a clue what the controls were, how anything worked, nothing at all. It's amazing. I've had a quick whiz round. A lot has changed, but it's still very familiar. It still feels the same. It does say on the mod hub, welcome back to BJORNHOLM. Since you left the region to move to Goldcrest Valley, which was when FS17 came out, a lot happened in the picturesque Scandinavian landscape. The farm and agricultural structure partially deteriorated. Can you manage to breathe life into the region again and provide residents with goods? Well, this is our farmhouse. Where do we start? Where we started originally. Now, if you're new to the game, you only got it because it was free a couple of months ago, or you only started on FS17 or whatever. I mean, I may go around the map and you'll think, all right, it's just a map. But like I say, this was the map. This was the map you played for ages and ages and ages, because we just didn't have the choice on FS15, which is amazing. On New Farmer, which I do my map tours on, we start with these fields, a bit of woodland. Field 23, field 29. We've got the barn sale point is kind of part of where we are. We've got a farm silo and our home kind of lodge cabin. We also have this plot of land down the bottom here with a cow pasture on it. Now, because of the changes in the game since FS15, with the ability for placeables and all the stuff we can do now on 19, and all mods and all that kind of thing, there aren't the set in place things. The cow, I was hoping the cow barns and stuff would all be the same, but that's a placeable, obviously. I say obviously, not obviously. The sheep used to be up here, they're no longer here, and for the life of me I can't remember where the pigs used to be. My mind's blanked completely on pigs. Did we even do them? Did we have them? Anyway, and the chickens used to be around here, which aren't. But then again, because the placeables available, you can put them wherever you want now, which kind of adds to that. Field prices and things, it kind of varies in that we can pick up fields with a bit of forestry here and there. We can pick up the odd field on its own, like field 28 there for 81 grand, which isn't too bad. But then we've got a few patches where we've got a big bulk section where you get a field and a load of woodland. So the price is quite high. Some of the chunks of woodland you can buy fairly pricey as well. But then you'll make that money. You know, doing forestry, if forestry is your thing, you'll make a load of money. The biogas plant you need to buy if you're going to use it, as is fairly standard. And on here, with that big patch up there, which is mostly kind of not mountainous but very hilly, it's 598,624 to buy the biogas plant. So like I say, field prices do vary. Fairly small, but even that small field, but you get all that stuff with it, so it's 259. So it's finding the plots that give you a field without all the kind of periphery. There aren't many, I'll be honest with you. Anyway, on with the tour. The house, the sleep trigger is just on the outside, which is just here, but we can go in. Very nicely detailed inside. All very lovely. We can go straight out to our garage, which we'll do. We'll go straight through. Open up door. Nice animation. Okay, that's better. There are no custom crops, it's standard. As far as mods go, sometimes the map makers, modders will put mods on as part of the map. This one has only got one, and it's a small silo, which I'm slightly baffled by because it looks exactly the same as the standard in-game one, but that's the only mod you get with it. Contracts are available. I'm trying to think of the things I normally go through my list. So let's head down. We're going to do a strange kind of spiral round, but we will take in everything. If you remember playing on this before, you'll see the changes. They'll be glaringly obvious. That was the field right there. That was the field where I first got in the combine harvester on Farming Simulator. It's amazing. It's fantastic. The map, obviously, with the graphics changes since 15, it feels crisper. It feels cleaner. Very tidy. Some elements seem more simplified. There's not as much going on. And weirdly driving around, and I suppose it's how things have changed and how far the game's come and how far I've come with my channel as well. It seems a lot smaller than I remember. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's true. Barn sell point is just here, so for selling your bales and things, that's just there. We come down to our main yard. A lot of the shelters and things that were, like I say, kind of fixed in place things from the original have all been swapped out for easy sheds and things again, so it gives you the ability to mix and match, and you can kind of make your farm up how you want to, really. So we're coming to the main farm area. The area itself hasn't changed landscape wise, but the structures and stuff around it have. On New Farmer, which I'm on, it uses 659 out of 1299 slots, which is pretty good. If you come onto this and start from scratch or farm manager, that slot count drops to 456. You don't have anything though, you don't have any buildings, you don't have any vehicles, you don't have anything at all. So 456 is pretty good to be playing with on a map this size. I think that's really good. Because we had root crop storage and stuff here, didn't we? I'm sure. Yeah. But like I said, there are loads of placeables for that. Our silo that we start with is just here, 100,000 litre capacity. And some more vehicles in the building here. So what we'll do while we're driving past the vehicles, let's have a look at what we actually start with on New Farmer. We start with a Fendt Favorite 515C, a Valtra A114, a TX32 harvester. We've got the Kramer KL38T front loader. We've got a pickup, Fortschritt trailer, Strautmann trailer, header for the harvester. We've got a plough, cultivator. We've got a power harrow, seeder, herbicide and fertilizer sprayer, round baler, bale spike, header trailer, weight. We have got the large cow pasture. Like I say, you don't have to have that. You can knock that on the head if you want to get rid of that, and then start wherever you want to go with a different modded one. And then we've got the grain silo, and then we've got a bunker silo, medium, doubled. That's down, I think, at the cow farm. We'll have a look at that when we get down there. And then we've got a load of easy sheds, water station, and various different buildings. So those are the things that, if you want to come onto here, you can get rid of all those and go again, or just like I say, come on farm manager or start from scratch, and off you go. Right, we're going to head down the hill. And it's funny how immediately things I hadn't thought about in absolutely ages, it's like hauling stuff up to the silo up this hill was a struggle for most of the vehicles. It was because it's steep, and if you've got anything more than one smallish trailer on there, it really struggled up the hill. But I also recall doing an episode where, because we didn't have a landscaping tool, the fields were as they were. I spent ages ploughing out the fields and making them curved and rounded and adding a hole because I wanted it to feel different, and spending so many hours doing all that. It's amazing. The store has changed considerably, but like I say, again, if you're new to this, this will be what it looks like. So this is our main store. Your buy point is just there, or obviously you can do it from your main tablet if you want to. Your repair, customise, sell point is just along here. The spawn point for vehicles is just here, and if you need to reset a vehicle, if something goes wrong, or you just want to reset your vehicle, it will reset right back here next to the store. We do still have on here the biomass heating plant. A lot of maps don't tend to have it anymore. This was kind of one of the features I always really liked about this map originally. So on our right we've got biomass. That will take wood chips. This is the other thing to point out. Barriers. I went down to the biogas plant as I did my tour around and the barriers wouldn't open. And I thought, wow, I wonder if that's a feature where you've got to buy the biogas plant before you can actually access it. So I took out a massive loan, bought the biogas plant, the gate still wouldn't open. That's because they're not automatic, they're manual. Walk up to them, press circle, they will open. They're just not automatic gates. So your wood chip sell point is just there at the biomass heating plant. And we've got a fuel. There's quite a few petrol stations actually around the map. But the little town, kind of, I say town, little village type area that used to be here, looks like it's all been bulldozed. There's not really much of it left. There used to be a whole little sort of town set up there. Yeah, we are going to do a kind of, it's a weird kind of spiral round. We are heading north at the moment towards the coast. But we are going to take a turn just up here. We're going to come round to that, to the circus tent over there. We'll get round to all that later on. Come up over the hill. It's very open, the fields are big, there's not loads of fences and hedges in the way. The ability to plough things out, make fields larger and just generally move around is fairly straightforward and fairly easy on here. So we come into the dairy station, dairy sell point. Big building, this has changed a fair bit as well. I mean, look at all that. Like I say, it feels very, very different whilst feeling very, very familiar, which it would do, I suppose. It's kind of it's ingrained when you spend so long on a map doing, you know, hours and hours and hours and hours of gameplay. You just kind of get used to it, don't you? Right, down the hill, heading towards the coast. You can see the lighthouse there. On the actual map itself, when we go into the map screen, there's some sort of custom what's the word I'm looking for? Icons is the word. We've got an egg sell point just to the left there. As we swing in, we'll just see it just there. We've got another petrol station as we get to the T-junction just off to the left. Just there. And we'll swing around. Move through the town itself. Actually what we'll do, let's pull in here very quickly. So the lighthouse is just through there. Nice little kind of marina area around the houses. Now this was the first map as well that I'd ever encountered. On FS19 it was gold nuggets, but on here, on car, it was coins, wasn't it? And that was, you kind of went around the map hunting coins, and you got to the wishing well at the end, and you got, how much was it? Was it 1 million? I think it was 1 million, wasn't it? Something like that. I kind of missed that. I missed the coins idea, and I missed the nuggets. Because I always felt that was a fantastic way to learn the map, to go around the map and find all the features and all the areas and all the cool bits of the map. I know not everyone liked it, but it was quite cool. Yeah, this is where the sheep pen used to be. There used to be the sheep pen here and a field off to the right, but obviously you could buy this and still place your sheep pen there if you want, or place it wherever you want. That's the beauty of 19. What we're going to do is head on to the next junction, to the next sell point. Then we're going to head up and round the outskirts of the map. So this is the northeast sell point. This used to be Transport Company. I think it was Transport Company originally. So we're at the northeast warehouse up here. So we've actually come a fair way already. We've come from the main farmhouse, barn, past our... I missed the spinnery. It's because I came down this way. I was going to drive around that way and I didn't. So I missed the spinnery sell point. We'll get that on the way back, I hope. Shop. Biomass, so we come along here, up past the dairy station, round past the egg sale point, out to this little harbour area and saw the lighthouse. This is what I mean about the custom, we've got some custom icons. It's got the lighthouse one, there's one over here for the circus, the sawmill's got its own kind of crossed saws, one for the windmill. I think that's it for the custom ones, I think. So, from the northeast warehouse, we're going to head south, down the eastern side of the map, up over the top to the grain elevator. which again for me that was the first sell point I'd ever encountered. I did a little bit of a harvest down on field 29, and then you took the grain up to the grain sell point to learn the basics of harvesting and selling and that kind of thing. The roads seem wider, I think. Well, the roads are fairly wide, let's just put it that way. So if I move around with some of the larger equipment, no problem at all. Oh, I am going to overtake. Another petrol station just here. And we come across the grain elevator sell point up the top here with another easy shed. And if you follow that track there and go west, that takes you down the hill back to the cabin where we started in our farm. Another big imposing building with the sell point just in the middle there. Again, a lot of familiarity whilst being different. The buildings have all changed a lot, but in a good way. I think it's had the right amount of update, if that makes sense. It hasn't been overdone and spoiled. If anything, I think it's been left, and this is not an insult, basic enough that you can still do a load with it. You can still, with what you've got here, make it your own with everything you can do on FS19. So, down the hill. And we pull in just here. We've got 2 sell points and a buy point here. So we're going past the grain elevator, swung around the bottom. We're at the freight yard down the bottom now. We've got the animal dealer, and then we've got the lime station across the line. So that's the freight yard. Livestock market just there. Is that got custom? Oh, look, that's quite cool. And then line point is just across the tracks here. This was also one of the first ones that had the lever, didn't it? I know it had it at the was it here as well? It was here, wasn't it? At the freight yard and over at the sawmill, when you loaded the train up, and then you pulled the lever, so you got paid twice. You got paid when you loaded it up, and you pulled the lever, off went the train, and then when it got to its destination, you got like a second payment, like a bonus. So yeah, that's something I miss as well. That was a nice kind of feature. I suppose, yeah, in real life you wouldn't be paid twice, would you? You don't get paid once, but... And it was often you do a load of login, or you do whatever you were doing, send the stuff off, and you'd forget, you'd go off and do some other jobs, and a little while later, all of a sudden, cha-ching, a load of money would suddenly appear. You think, oh, that's cool. The train's reached its destination, kind of thing. Anyway, heading down the hill. We're now heading west across the bottom section of the map towards the biogas plant. I think the forests don't seem as dense, which probably helps with the slot count and that kind of thing as well. But there's no shortage of forestry around the map. If forestry is your thing, you like doing a bit of that, or you want to mix it up and do a little bit alongside other things, there is plenty to do. So there we go. Not automatic. 2 large bunker silos at the biogas plant. Our sell point into the digestion system is just here, and our digestate byproduct comes out here. Now when you buy this, the price is, I think it's $3.60. It's paying out for silage, and it will also take manure and slurry here as well. That's when I get to okay. It's funny how you get so used to automatic gates that when you come up to a gate like that, your first thought is not, oh, I'll get out and I'll just open it. Your thought is, oh, that's weird. Why is that automatic barrier not working? It's peculiar. Continuing up over the brow of the hill, on our left will be the cow farm. Like I say, it's probably one thing. As I drove over here, I thought, oh, it would be so cool if the old cow building and all the stuff that was originally there was still there, even if it's just that one thing that was fixed in place. but I get the reasoning behind it. If you sell all of these buildings, you've got a kind of placeable area to set it up however you want, if you want to do it here. So that's your cows just off to the side, and that is a standard one. If we go into our garage again and scroll back till we get to it, that will hold 200, but like I say, you don't have to have that if you don't want to. Standard triggers for your feed, water, straw goes there, slurry and manure just there, and the double bunker silo is just behind there. It was one of my earliest, I kept saying my first, but I don't think it was then. There you go. Was on here, and there was a shed originally just about here somewhere, and I was stacking bales into it, and that was that kind of, I stacked a load of bales and was so proud of myself. Thought, that's amazing. Just hit record. I'll record that. Somebody's bound to want to watch it. That was it. Amazing. Right, carry on. Now we're now sweeping from the southern part of the map. We're up the western side and we're coming up the map. We've got another line point there. This was the garden centre sell point. I think it was a sell point. Was it a buy point originally? But we've got a little garden centre with some greenhouses. Now the other side there's a line point. We'll sweep round to the right. And we are coming up on the mill sell point. So the windmill is just on the hill and the sell point for the windmill is just here. So the mill sell point is there. Just hoping, oh no, it's still the same. One, there may be other things I might have not noticed yet. So that's the mill sell point. Again, we'll go back to the map. So from the freight yard, biogas plant, past the cow pasture, lime station, up the hill to the mill. We've got an egg sell point. I think that's where that originally was, actually. The egg sell point was there. A lot of my forestry was done up here originally. Don't know why. Of all the forests on the map, that's the area I chose to do forestry in originally. So the windmill's just there. If I just jump out and whiz up to the windmill, there's a bit of an error or a problem, so we might get an update. With all the windows, the texturing doesn't seem to have gone. It's the only thing I've noticed so far. As I walked up to it, I thought, wow, gold windows. But yeah, I'm assuming that's going to be a texture issue. This is the second time I've loaded this on, so it's not like it's just a glitch with this particular load of the game. But anyway, that's the windmill just there. I suppose a historical landmark to come and have a look at. Egg sell point just on the left as we go past. Just there. Oh man, I'm smiling constantly. It's brilliant. So cool. I know this popped up on PC a while ago, and someone messaged me and said, "Oh, BJORNHOLM's out on PC," and I went on my PC and had a look. I thought, wow, that's amazing, you know. But the fact it's come to console as well, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So, we're following around the outskirts of the map. We're going to head to the northern point, to the Harbour area, and then round to the Sawmill. Then we'll take in the Circus tent, and I'll do the spinnery on the way back because I missed it. I'm sorry. So we come around over the top, down towards the harbour. We're quite high up on this side of the map, so as we come to the western side of the map is quite raised. Well, actually, all the way around the outside, it's the middle section. It's all in the fairly low-lying area. So down to the harbour, harbour sell point. Got a couple of bridges we're going to go over in a second. There you go. There's a sell point at the harbour. So we're kind of, well, not quite northwest at the moment. Northwest is just a little bit more over that way, but northwest enough. And we're heading towards the circus tent. and then round to the sawmill. So, over the bridge. Take a right there, and there's the circus tent. There was like a kind of circus tent campground type affair, and you could go and cut the grass. Because you've got to remember as well, there were no contracts per se. There was the mission system. We did a lot of deliveries. You went and picked up a lot of sort of pallets and took them places, which was always quite cool. But there's the circus tent just there. Looks like there's a horse riding sort of track around the outside of it. They've diversified somewhat. And then we're going to take a right, just down over this little bridge here, towards the sawmill, which has also seen some quite significant changes. But there is a feature of this that I'm really, really pleased with. Really pleased with. I know it's going to sound ridiculous. Well, it's not actually. It's really cool. I'm really pleased it's still here. We'll just bump over the tracks. So we've got a lumber sell point just there, and this was where you loaded up originally on the train, and you pulled the lever and off went the train. So there's the lumber sell point here. Remember, the wood chip sell point is at the biomass heating plant, so there's no wood chip sell point here. But as we go further down here, there's another lumber sell point. Now, my first thought as I loaded this map up, I wondered to myself, and I've actually written on my little list here of features, I wrote in capital letters mill pond ? Because that is a mill pond. Logs will be put into that because it's easier to float them. It's easier to move them in water. They'd go up into the mill and off they go. Originally, you could cut wood, and there were a few maps that did it. Goldcrest Valley had a mill pond at the sawmill. A few of them did. Throw your lumber in there, you got paid for it. So I thought, has it got a mill pond? So I cut a tree, threw it in, nothing happened. I was like, no, it hasn't. Not quite right. We have a log sell point just here. So bear with me just a second, because I don't have enough money at the moment. Hang on. So what I've done is borrowed some money, bought the land, and bought a chainsaw. So because like I say, I tried this already. And when I initially did it, I was like, oh, so disappointed. You know, it's that weird kind of childish, oh, I was really hoping that was going to work. So we pick up our log, and I thought, right, throw it in the mill pond, you'll get that cha-ching. And off it rolled. I was like, oh, okay. That's disappointing. Let's get another one. But if I go over here now and press L3 at the sell point, watch what happens. I just got paid for the 2 logs that I threw into the mill pond. So technically we do have a mill pond, you just have to do the actual selling bit. So you could just chuck a ton of logs into there, trees and whatever, and then click on the lumber bit there and Bob's your uncle. You've got some low-lying bits there. So we've got a couple of timber trailers, modded ones that do tip, haven't we? Is it a BSM one? I'm trying to think now. Pull up alongside, tip it, in they roll, come over here, bosh, job done. I don't know, it's a small thing, but it made me smile, and I'm really pleased it's still in there. So, from here at the sawmill, there's a couple of roads out of here that lead out to the periphery. What we'll do is take this road round. We come past a little cabin, sort of hillside chalet type thing. And there's the bridge by the waterfall again. It was loads of coins and stuff all around here you had to come and collect originally. So come along the side of here, and then we've got the little stone bridge. And as you go a little bit further up there, it sweeps round steep hill up to the outside, and over the bridge, and we're heading back up towards the store. Fantastic. So, up we come from here, up to the main road. We'll whiz up along the main road to the spinnery, and then we'll be almost back at the main farm. So back up onto the main road. carry on past the turning I initially came down towards the store, and we'll get to the spinnery. There we go, on the left hand side there, that's the spinnery. And our farm is just up the hill, just up there. Spinnery sale point is round the back, I think it is, yeah, just round there. That's the spinnery. And that is BJORNHOLM 2K20. Now there are a few other bits around the map to kind of explore. There's the sort of mountain top, up from the farm. There used to be like a little hotel up on the top of the hill, and you could deliver pallets of suitcases and things like that up to as part of the mission system, the original mission system. That's brilliant. I'm still smiling. I'm so pleased it's here. It's a great map. I mean, maybe that's just nostalgia talking. Is that kind of, oh, it's a great map, and you might be, as I'm going around, thinking, okay, it's no different to a lot of maps we've already got, but it does hold a special place for a lot of people, I think, especially on console. Like I say, we can drive up here, up to the top. I wonder if the cabin or the hotel is still up there. I hope you've enjoyed the tour round, the look at the landscape, and that kind of BJORNHOLM's back. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. As always, thanks for watching.